We have Rebecca Rhynhart and Larry Krasner, who shocked the Philadelphia political establishment. Both are outsiders coming in. Larry Krasner came at a time where we need great criminal justice reform in this country, and Larry is one of the foremost reformers in this country, and he's been doing it before it was cool. And Rebecca kind of took on the system and be the long-term entrenched politician to win for controller, and now they're running in the general election. So how does it feel to be the outsiders?
Rebecca, you go first.
Okay. It feels good to be an outsider and to get the level of support that I got in the primary and that I'm hoping to continue to get. So I think people are ready for change, and they're ready for government that represents them more than the government currently is.
I think voters feel like outsiders, and that means I feel like a voter. I think voters are sick of a government that they feel doesn't respond to their needs, that talks down to them, and they're looking for the grassroots to be guiding the government instead of the government to be stepping on the roots of the grass.
But Larry, talk about the grassroots coalition that you put together. You put together a real interesting and exciting, as well as, the coalition that you put together was very impressive. To be a candidate like you were, you had groups that have traditionally been for law enforcement, groups that have been against. You put together, you had some labor, you had the working family, you had a great coalition. You had the people up here in this Marion Tasco. How did you put together that coalition, Larry?
Basically by doing everything in my career that I could do so that I could never be elected. I mean, essentially what I did is a whole lot of free work for groups that were trying to change society, and they were up against the government, whether it was on behalf of those who had HIV or homeless people, or on behalf of clergy trying to fight against gun violence, or on behalf of people looking for economic equality like Occupy. I really had no intention of building any of that into a political anything, but somehow it all boomeranged on me, and I ended up with a whole lot of people who felt like I'd stuck up for them before they had the power, so it worked out.
And Rebecca, you had a coalition of the progressives, some people in organized labor, namely the laborers, who believed in your candidacy, who believed in you. And it's like, I think that's a great thing that Larry said. The voters feel like outsiders.
Right.
So you tapped into that angst that they had about people not representing them and representing this small little group of leaders, right?
Absolutely. I mean, in the primary, went up against the Democratic Party establishment. I had the support of one ward leader out of 69.
We're 2-0 against that establishment.
Yeah, and won with 58% of the vote. So it really was the support of you, Ryan Boyer, and the laborers were amazing, brave supporters, early supporters, and people all over the city, millennials, progressives, the black clergy endorsed me. So it really was this broad group of people that want Philadelphia politics to work for them, and it hasn't been. So that's what we're trying to do.
Larry, I was going to vote for you after you won. I endorsed you after the primary. But today I woke up and I said, we need a Larry Krasner in the district attorney's office now more than ever. And not just to say, I know you can't talk about pending cases, but when I look at just people in general that violate probation and they get state sentences and it's not about a violent crime, that upsets me. And I know that your office, you said that you're going to charge appropriate, lock the right people up, but kind of look at criminal justice from a different lens. Could you talk about that?
What we've had going on for quite some time is just trying to maximize charges, convictions, and sentences. And obviously, when you become the most incarcerated country in the world, and you live in a city where you have a rate of incarceration that's about four times what they got in New York. New York's only, 90 miles away. When that's where you are, then something has gone haywire. We have to go in a much more balanced and fair direction. We got to recognize addiction for what it is, which is a medical condition, and stop burning money to put people who have addiction into jail cells when that is not necessary. I mean, that's just one small part of it. But we got to have a balanced view of the real costs of putting people away. Some of them got to go away a long time, but not as many as are away now. So we got to change that.
thank you for joining us. Now go get some more votes out.